Okay, so here we are at number 5, and on this one I'll be installing the kerf lining, and then once that glue has dried I'll be taking them to the radius dish to clean up the kerf lining. Again, the sides have already been pre-profiled using the CNC, so they're pretty close to where they need to be, and I'll be cleaning off the edges of the kerf lining and then flip it over and do the top side, which is going to be the 40-foot radius with a 1.5 degree neck angle. And just us cleaning up the kerf lining because all of this work has been done on the CNC. So it's pretty close to where it needs to be anyway. So a little touch up, and it'll also smooth off the neck and the heel or tail block. So off we go. Okay, now here I'm going to be sanding the interior with 220. And aside from making a good glue surface for the kerf lining, I like the interior of the guitar to be as clean as possible when I'm done with the project. Now here I'm just cleaning up some of the squeeze out. Looking good. Okay, now that I have the kerfing in, what I'm going to do is just kind of even it off in a radius dish. The sides have been pre-profiled to a 20-foot radius, and I'm just going to clean them up a little. The heel block and the tail block are not radiused, so I'm going to clean those up and get them on a perfect radius. And with the CNC profiling of the 20-foot radius, what you get is the radius and then this edge is flat. So what this dish is going to do is just give a slight radius to the edge, so when I glue it, I'm not trying to counteract the radius by creating a flat spot after the radius and then a flat spot that way, or maybe it's this way. So I'm going to clean it up in the radius dish, and that shouldn't take too long since it fits in there quite nicely already at the 20-foot radius. And by the time I get the heel and tail block radius properly, that's going to clean up all of the kerf lining. And aside from the push effort, I'm not really putting much down pressure on this at all. As little as I can, and still maintain a grip on it. Okay, we're nearly there on this neck heel block. With that slight radius to it, looks good. Now let's get to the top. All right, now we're going to get started on doing the radius on the top. This is the 40-foot radius that I'm going to use on this, and there's plenty of disputes whether it's going to be flat, 20-foot, 28-foot. I'm using a 40-foot radius for the dreadnought size, and that's what I like to do. So it is just a slight radius, but it's pretty close to being flat. I'm not concerned about the radius forward of the sound hole, so I'm going to focus on the back here with my sanding process. And right now the top isn't touching anyway. It's 1.5 degree angle, so I'm not too concerned about that at the moment. Okay, I'm 2 or 3 minutes into this and it's pretty well sanded. Almost all of the tail block, and I'm sanded pretty much up into here. I'll go a little bit further. I'd like it to be clean, sanded all the way up to the forward of the sound hole. So let's get going. Got a few more minutes to do. Now I'm ready to clean up this 1.5 degree surface, and what I have back here is a 7mm block that gives me the 1.5 degree angle at this edge of the guitar. So pretty simple process. Yes, sir. Very nice. Again, another excellent outcome. Okay, now it's time to cut some side support bracing to put across the rims here. And really, so many guitar builders do not put this in. I do because I think it's a good cautionary measure to take, since all the grain, particularly in this Madagascar, is very straight and long. I'm going to put some bracing across this way so that if in fact something were to happen along the way, if it were to crack, that the crack wouldn't follow any further than where the brace might be. I like to get one inside of the turns. This is already protected against the neck heel block, but I'll put one here just before the waist. I'll put one after the waist, and at least one between this brace and the tail block. So there's, on this guitar, there'll probably be 4 on each side. And that's what we will have once that's glued. Well, time to start working on the top and the back plate.